Hi, welcome to another Move Me series with the ball. So this is a fairly large ball. If you have a smaller one, it's going to work exactly the same anyway. So come along to the mat and let's begin. So we're going to take our lie down position and you're going to place the ball underneath your right foot, so underneath the sole, and you want to make sure that you're not all the way into the heel or all the way into the toe, but that you're nice and balanced and level. The other foot is just staying on the floor for now, and what we're going to start with is a raise of the hips. So we're going to raise the hips off of the mat, coming into your bridge position. So you'll obviously see one foot is higher than the other, one knee is higher, but you want your pelvic bones to be level, and then bringing yourself back down to the mat. So with these moves, there's a rolling of the pelvis away from the ground, but if you don't like to roll your pelvis, then you are welcome to just hover the hips and lower the hips without that action. So a gentle pressing down onto the right foot is going to start to create that lovely connection to the back of the hamstring. For our next two, we're going to include our arms to travel all the way back over with us. Remember, don't just collapse your arms on the floor. Keep them energized and away from the mat as you take your arms overhead, so that you're always using a bit of energy through your movements as you work out, and then returning towards the ground again. So from here, we're going to bring your left leg up into the air, and we're going to slide the right leg away on top of the ball and send the left arm all the way back. And then you're going to pull it all the way back in again. And reaching out so that there's a long diagonal across the body and pulling it back. So while we're doing these moves, you're being mindful that you're not wanting to arch your back away from the floor or rib flare. You don't want to bear down and brace yourself. You just want to stay as neutral as possible and just feeling your trunk or your torso staying like a square position, and then the arm and the leg just extending away nice and smoothly and evenly. So we'll go one more time as you stretch your arm and leg all the way out. Keep the right leg where it is, and then bring both hands to the back of your left thigh. You're going to open your elbows sideways and then nod your head forward to look towards your knee. From here, you're going to keep that bind as you start to lower your leg toward the floor. It's going to bring your upper body with you, and you'll end up in a seated position, and then lengthening up nice and tall on your sit bones. We'll move away from the leg as we tilt the tail underneath, letting your foot become lighter as you make your way towards the floor. All the way down, taking your breath in, and then breathing out, nodding that head forward, pressing into the back of the thigh, and then almost feeling like you're pulling the thigh toward you, but you don't actually change the shape. So the spacing is still the same between the leg and the torso, but there's the sense of a good contraction pulling in and a pushing out that keeps you easily coming up and down from the floor. So remember, this is not just about brute strength through the abdominals. If you're holding your breath, make sure you're using your exhale in both directions as you move. Otherwise, you'll create too much pressure in the internal surface and you won't be able to get down or up as easily. We're going to switch legs here at the top now. So placing the ball onto the left foot and then bringing yourself back down again. That setup of your foot is really important, that again, it's not rolled back to the ankle or the toes, but right in the center. Arms just resting down for the first few as we raise our hips away from the mat, coming into that bridge position. And then again, rolling your spine back down, easily finding the mat. And as you're pressing away from the floor, you should feel like you're pushing evenly through both feet here. It's tempting to sort of be distracted by the wobbly surface underneath you, but let's still make sure that both legs are working balanced, and then returning back down again. So we're adding in our arms. So as you go up with the pelvis, you go over with the arms, lengthening away, and then rolling everything down, returning the arms to your side. And we'll go for another one like that as we bring the body up, and then lowering the body all the way back down again. So from here, we bring the right knee up into the air and we straighten the left leg away as the right arm travels back, and then bringing them forward again. So just getting that nice easy motion of your legs sliding out and your arms sliding over, and they should feel like they're working in coordination with one another. And we'll go for two more. And remembering on the last one, we're going to keep that left leg long and away from you. And then you're just going to circle your arms around to find the back of your right thigh. Important that those elbows stay broad and open, and then nodding the head forward. Use the support of the leg to help you peel yourself up into your sit. And then always feeling that nice long length from your tail down up towards the crown of your head. And then just melting back onto the mat. Such a lovely movement. You have so much support from the back of the leg connected to your hands. So everything's integrated as you do this movement up and down. Now I know it's not always easy for a lot of people to do this motion, so make sure that you do this with kindness and your breath, and you don't sort of fling yourself up with too much effort. But of course, if it gets frustrating, just go halfway. That's also quite a possible movement. So we'll go one more time down, and then we're going to go all the way back up towards the top again. And feeling nice and easy through all parts of your body. So from here, we'll just roll that ball back in towards you. You're going to bring your ball between your two knees, send the arms out, and we'll just make our way all the way back down again towards the floor. From here, we're going to circle the arms and take them behind the back of your head, and then do a little curl forward to look towards your thighs. Pausing here, we're going to rotate. So you're going to turn over towards the left side, and as you do, you're going to squeeze your left knee into the ball, and then stay through the center in the lift, and then twist to the right and squeeze towards the right side. Back to the center and lower your body all the way back down. We're going to do that again. We're going to go to the right side, and you're going to roll the chest up looking towards your legs, and then twist to the right and squeeze the right thigh towards the ball, and then relax that hold, and then coming up and over towards the left, and then back to the center and down. So that's just a little warm up of a few things we're going to be doing soon. Send your arms all the way out to the side, and from here you're going to bring both legs up into the air. You can do palms facing down or up, really your choice. And we're going to send the knees over to the right side. So just getting them over toward about halfway, maybe 45 degrees is a good thought, and then rolling yourself back through the center. Taking them across towards the left. So as you're doing this, you're not trying to get your legs to the ground, and you're not trying to let your shoulder peel away from the ground on the other side. So right here, I'm keeping my left shoulder down, really feeling like I'm anchored with a heavy weight across the front of my chest. And again, over towards the left. We'll go one more time to each direction. Just getting a little bit of movement again through that lower back, feeling nice and easy. And these twisting actions, I don't know if you've noticed, we've been doing a few of them already today. We're working across the slings of our body, the diagonal slings. From here, we're going to stay, and we're going to bring our hands a little closer. You're going to flex into your feet, and you're going to lower your feet as low as you can. So touching the floor is great, and then coming back up. Point your toes, and then taking the legs down through the center, and then bringing them up. Now, if you can't reach the floor, flex your feet, point your feet with each repetition. You can just go halfway. The aim here is to feel like your ribs and your pelvis are going to stay connected and not start to flare open. So for some of us, we can't get all the way to the ground, and that's okay. So just going where you can. So if you're all comfortable with that, sending the arms to the ceiling, we flex the feet and lower the arms behind, and then bringing everything up. Point the toes and lower the arms behind. So the feet and the hands are very connected, and I promise you when you do this, you're going to want to start to flex and point with your wrists as well. But the challenge is, can you just keep your arms as they are and do the foot change each time? So one more time with the flexed foot going down, and then one more time with the pointed foot going down. And then bringing it back up. Send the arms back open, and we're going to make a circle. So we're going to go over to the right side, down through the center to the left and up. So we'll just go for 5 circles, massaging around the back of the pelvis. And even these small movements require a lot of control and activation of your deep, deep core muscles, the ones closest to the spine, around the pelvis, around the legs. I always forget how many we've done, so I'm going to say that was our last one, and then you're going to come back to the center, and we'll go in the opposite way. So just as we experienced with all the preparatory exercises before, you're still keeping your shoulders and torso on the ground nice and steady while we're moving with our lower body. One more circle all the way around. And then we're going to bring that ball to us and place the feet back down onto the ground. From here, we're going to transition to put the ball behind the back of the shoulders. So just peeling yourself off to a side, place it behind the shoulder wings, and then you're just going to kind of wriggle around a little bit until you know it's in the right position. Hands are always laced behind the back of your head, and then we're going to stretch ourselves over the ball. So this is a nice sort of setup. Do I feel like I'm in the right position without feeling vulnerable in my back or my neck? And then making sure now you can lower your elbows down. So we don't always do this position, but this is a big stretch across the chest. But we're about to move again, so we're going to bring those elbows just lifted off of the ground and then feel the curve of the head rolling up to look between your knees. So we did this in a previous movement when the ball was between our knees. So feel the difference in this chest lift with the ball behind you. Feels so lovely as you curl yourself away. You have fantastic support. You feel like you're going higher without any effort. So enjoy these moments when you have these extra tools behind you to give you a better experience. All right, on the next one, as we bring our head up, we're going to bring our left knee into the air, and we're going to twist towards the knee and then through the center and go back down. And then we're going to curl up, lift, and twist to the right, and then bringing it back down. So if you're not doing the same left and right as me, well then that's okay, just as long as you're going to be rotating to the leg that's in the air and not feeling that you're collapsing backwards. You always want to get that sense that you're curving forward and over to meet the body. And remember, this is not a bicycle and you're not kind of closing your elbow in, you're maintaining the elbow position. We have one more to go to each side as we roll up and twist, thinking rib cage down across towards hip bone on the opposite side. Last one there, and then we're going to rest the feet. Take another rest over, let those elbows widen, and you should notice that you actually have more space to do this stretch. I always believe that resting in between is as important as doing all the movement, but let's roll you off to your side, take the ball away, and just enjoy this new sensation of being on your back body. We're going to put the ball now at the backs of your knees, and you're going to hold on tight and bring your hands to the fronts of the shins. This is now a follow-on from what we did previously on the single arm. So from here, we're going to curl the top of the head and shoulders forward, and you're going to start to lower the feet towards the ground and bring yourself up. Now you can continue with that. We're going to do something called rolling like a ball. So we're going to maintain the position of your ball between the legs and the hands at the tops of the shins. You're going to find yourself into a little balance with your feet away from the ground. Keep your eye gaze looking downward or towards the ball as you roll towards your shoulders and then roll yourself back up into sitting. So we usually would inhale going back and exhale coming up. Now, if you do this too intensely, you might notice that you're going to go sideways on the mat surface. If you brace too hard, you will feel the side that's stronger for you will lead you in that direction. So see if you can just do this with a little bit of fun and ease of breathing in, breathing out, and just making it more entertaining for you. And then resting at the top. From here, we're going to spin over onto all fours and place the ball between your knees. So having your hands under your shoulders, knees under pelvis, and we're going to go with a tucked toe shape. So always remembering that the head, the shoulders, and the pelvis are on like a diagonal line. We're not a flat table surface. And then from this position, we're going to create more flatness. So we pick up the knees, and they're just off the ground. We hold for a few breaths, and then we lower the knees back towards the mat. So bringing the knees up just off the mat is going to be a lot more challenging for your core, your strength, your stability than if we hike those knees too high up. So if you've just noticed in your own body that you went a bit high, come back down into that low shape and then return. So I think of an image of, say, a hot drink around my shoulders and around my pelvis. And as I'm lifting my pelvis up, I'm not actually going to spill either of those drinks. There might be a little bit of a whoop, like you feel in turbulence, perhaps in an aeroplane, but everything is still going to be kept within those glasses. So we're going to go for one more time, raising up, and we're going to stay here, and we're going to do our pendulum swing. So the knees go to the one side and then to the other. So just moving across, similar to what we did in our back in the side to side variation. And we've got another one time to each direction, and then lowering yourself back to the floor. From there, we'll take the ball out and we're going to place it underneath your right hand. So in this position, if I keep my left hand on the floor, you'll notice my right elbow is bent. As we felt with the foot, you don't want to be so far back into the heel of the hand that causes an uncomfortable feeling in the wrist. You kind of want to feel like you're doming and cupping on top of the ball. From here, we're going to raise up so that the left hand is now at the same imaginary height as the right. And what you'll feel is that your body weight went slightly backward toward your feet. So if you came back down, you would see that we're knees over hips. And then from here, as we lift that arm up, the bottom sinks just a little bit backward. Staying here, lengthen the arm forward and then taking it back behind you. Maintaining your arm on the ball creates your hand on the ball creates new sensation of muscles and stability in the elbow, the wrist, and the shoulder. And then one more time as we take the arm up and back, and then lowering back down. We're going to switch over to the other side. So again, just finding the setup, making sure you're comfortable, and then checking that you're not sagging between shoulders. This is a very good position for shoulder organization. And again, hovering your right hand up to the level of the left, and then we're going to sweep the arm to the front and to the back. So maintaining your body organization, just as we did when we lay on our back and we were doing arm and leg movements. Same thing here, we've got to keep that stable trunk and then feel free to move through our arms. We'll do one more because of course I lost count. And then bringing it all the way back. We're going to come to lie down onto your tummy surface now. The ball is going to go just below your chest bone and into some of your abdominal area. So if you've just eaten, it probably won't feel good. And if it doesn't feel good anyway, then just take the ball out. It's just a tool. So from here, we're going to lie you down onto your front. And then having your arms at right angle shapes. So fingers are facing forward. And then let your body drape over the top. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, begin to just lift into the upper back. So your head is going upward, not forward. And your chest bone is going forwards. And then lowering yourself all the way back down. So your forearms are going to be the support. You're not bearing down in them too much. This movement is really about your back muscles, the ones that are holding us upright in gravity. We call them our postural muscles. And as we're peeling up, there's this just really gentle feeling of lifting away from the ball surface and coming back down. And you should note that your lower body is not incredibly active right now. So your toes could be aimed in and your heels just flopped open. Just working in the upper back space. So we're going to build on this movement. So as we come up to the next one, we're going to pause and we're going to raise the forearms and elbows up away from the mat and then lower them back down. We're staying in the lift and up and down we go with the arms. So little wings just flying up into the air and lowering towards the mat. You've got two more of these and you're going to start to notice the upper back muscles, really enjoying this. Lower the arms and lower the spine down. As always, you can stay with that variation on its own or join us for the next one as we come up. We raise the arms, we shoot them forward, we pull in and we stretch out. And we draw back and lengthen fingertips away from toe tips. By now your lower body will probably work a little bit more because there's more effort needed to stretch those arms overhead. Fold the elbows, bring them down and lower yourself all the way to the mat. Big breath and then bringing yourself up from there. So from here, we're going to make our way up into a standing motion. So I'm going to continue to face this direction and you're going to place the ball between your ankle bones and then just having your feet nicely laid underneath your hip joints. So from here, it is balance work, so make sure that you are okay. If you need a surface to hold on to, like a wall or a ledge or a chair or something, go ahead and grab that now. So from here, this is rising up onto your toes. So as we go onto the toes, we're just going to hang out here for a little bit, and you're just going to notice 10 toes. You want to feel all the knuckles underneath the toes onto the mat. So staying in this balance with the ball between the knees is a lot easier than if we didn't have the ball. So now we're just going to lightly tap the heels down to the mat and then spring back up. And again, lower and lift. And down and up. So you're really building the strength into the Achilles, into the calf muscles. Notice what other muscles will kick in as you might overshoot and then want to tip yourself forward. We're going to stay up on this next one, holding the height, and then you're going to sink yourself down as though you're sliding down a wall, and then straighten the legs back up again. So our aim is to keep up on the balls of the feet and soften down and rise back up. And we've got another 3 of these. So balance is a really cool thing to make sure that you can do, because we are continually balancing in our world. And then last one, and rest the heels down. I wish I could say it's over, but it's not. We're going to go down into the little squat, and from here you're going to raise the heels and lower, and lift and lower. So this is a little bit more, I wouldn't say challenging, but maybe it is challenging for you, but we're keeping the height of the head level. So we're just letting those knees travel forward and back, still getting as upright on the toes as possible. Let's go onto the toes again, stay there and straighten the legs, lower the legs, straighten the legs and bend. And we've got 3 more. Oh, this is fun. And 2, and then last one. And then bringing it down and standing yourself all the way up. From here, we've got 1 more movement to make, and then we're done. So I'll turn to face towards you just because I want the length of my mat. So just taking your ball into one hand, we'll put it into the right hand. So this is my right side. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to take your right leg behind you, dip your knee to the floor, and stretch to the left side, and then bring everything up. Switch the ball to the other side, toe goes down, knee goes down, and stretch over to that direction. And again, coming up, dip and stretch, and dip and stretch. I don't know about you, but I've got wobbly legs suddenly. And 1 more time to each side, just a nice leaning over, stretching through the side of your body. And then we are all done. Have a great day, everybody. See you again soon.